Here are the video solutions for City and Guild's Level 1 Functional Skills Maths. This is section 1, which is the non-calculator paper, and this is sample paper 1. Okay, so let's have a look at question number 1. So it says 4 plus 3 times 2, so this is a question testing BIDMAS. We've got adding and we've got multiplication, so the multiplication happens first. 3 times by 2 is 6, so the question is 4 plus 6, which is 10. Question number 2, 25 squared, so that means 25 multiplied by 25, so we're going to need probably to do a column method here. 5 5s are 25, carry the 2, 2 5s are 10, plus 2 is 12. Moving on to the 2, this is the 2 of 20, so put in a 0, 2 5s are 10, 0 carry 1, 2 2s are 4, plus 1 is 5, add these two together, 5, 2, 6, so 625. Question 3, what is 2/5 as a decimal? Well, it's easy to write decimals if it's tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, etc. But fifths is a bit of a problem. Now 2/5 we can easily convert into tenths. We've doubled the number on the bottom, so for an equivalent fraction let's double the number on the top. 2 times 2 is 4, so 4 tenths, that means 0.4. Remember, if it's tenths it's just one decimal place. Okay, minus 12 plus 13, we can rewrite that as 13 minus 12, or plus 13 minus 12, but we don't really need that plus. We're starting, another way of looking at it is, we're starting at minus 12, so if I add 12 that will take me to 0, so if I'm adding 13 that will take me beyond 0, so back into the positive numbers. Anyway, 13, take away 12, that's nice and easy, the answer is 1, so that is A. Okay, 60% of 300 grams. Well, let's work out 10% of 300 grams. 10% is 1/10, so divide this by 10, that is 30. So 60% is going to be 30 times by 6. 3 times 6 is 18. Put the 0 back in, so that is 180 grams. Okay, so what is the range? Remember that range is the biggest, take away the smallest. So the biggest, I've got 180 here, anything bigger than 180? I don't believe so. And the smallest, anything smaller than 95? No. So it's 180, take away 95, 0 minus 5 can't be done, so 8 becomes 7, 0 becomes 10, 10 minus 5 is 5, 7 minus 9 can't be done, let's just do 17, take away 9, that is 8, so the answer is 85. Okay, so for this question we need to work out 5% of £3,000. All these come from working out what 10% is. So 10% of 3,000 is 3,000 divided by 10, just chop off a 0, 300. So if 10% is £300, then 5%, well 5% is half of 10%, so I just need half of 300. Half of 300 is £150. Question 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're quarters here. So this is 1 quarter, 2 quarters, otherwise known as a half, and this is 3 quarters. Although actually I should have read the question properly. It's got nothing to do with numbers. So let's just ignore all of that and start again. So in the middle, where I wrote the 1/2. That is even chance. So this is evens. So if it's less than evens, then it's unlikely. If it's greater than evens, it is likely, and that is answer D. Question number 9, the volume of this cube. So this side is 10. It's got a depth of 10 and a height of 10. So we're multiplying these 3 dimensions together. So 10 times 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is 100, and 100 times 10 is 1,000, so 1,000 cubic centimetres. So for this question we are turning this into an improper fraction, and the way to do that is multiply 5 times, well, this number by the number on the bottom, and then add the number on the top. So in other words, 5 times by 5 plus 2, so 25 plus 2, which is 27, so that is 27/5. Okay, question number 11. So it's 70% of the original price, so we want to work out 70% of £30. Well, let's work out 10% of £30. 10% of £30 is 30 divided by, sorry, it's not £30. He has £30. It's £45. So let's just redo this one as well. So 10% of £45 is £4.50, and we want 70%. So 70% is going to be 7 lots of £4.50, and for me the easiest way to do that is just 7 times £4 and 7 times 50p. 7 times £4 is £28, and 750p's are 350p, in other words £3.50, and add these together, 28, 29, 30, 31, so that is £31.50 is the reduced price. And can the customer afford to buy the coat? Well, he's only got 30, so the answer is no, because 30 is less than £31.50. Okay, question number 12. So the ratio of the sandwiches brown to white is 1:4. So what that means is 1/5 are brown and 4/5 are white, and we know it's fifths because 1 plus 4 is 5. So what we're trying to, if he's making 600, then 1/5 are brown. So what is 1/5 of 600? Well, that is 600 divided by 5, so we might need to do a bus stop method here. 6 divided by 5 is 1 with a remainder of 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 0 divided by 5 is 0, so that is 120 sandwiches. Question number 13. John is a checkout assistant in a supermarket. There are 5 tills and 5 assistants, and they're allocated randomly, and no one likes the 1 till next to the door. So what is the probability that John will get the till next to the door? Well, that is 1 till out of 5, and that is the probability, 1/5. Easy. Okay, question number 14. Approximately how many litres of fuel are left in the tank? So full, here we've got half full, so therefore this is a quarter full. So if it's 60 litres when it's full, we need to work out, well, what is a quarter of 60? So that is 60 divided by 4. So again, we could use a bus stop method if we wanted to. 6 divided by 4 is 1 with a remainder of 2. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So the answer is 15 litres. And that is the end of section 1. Here are the video solutions for City and Guilds Functional Skills Maths Level 1. This is section 2, which is the calculator section of sample paper number 1. So let's take a look at question number 1. The calculator is not going to help us for this one. We just need to write the words as figures. So remember that the word 1,000 we can replace with a comma. So let's just write 807, a comma for the 1,000, and now let's just write 205. There we go. And if you prefer, you can now remove the comma or put a space. It's entirely up to you. There we go. So 807,205. Okay, so for this question, number 2, we want to round to 2 decimal places. So 2043.66666. So if we're rounding to 2 decimal places, we're interested in the value of the 3rd decimal place. Anything beyond that we can ignore. And if this number is 5 or more, then the column to the left is going to move up by 1. Well, 6 is greater than 5, so the column to the left will move from a 6 to a 7. So that will be 2043.67. Which one of these nets will fold to make a cube? Well, for me, the most obvious net of a cube is 4 squares with 1 square on the left hand side and 1 square on the right hand side. Now, it doesn't matter where on the left that square is or where on the right that square is, so as long as we've got 4 in a row with 1 either side, that is the net of a cube, so that is D. C won't work because it's only got 5 faces, not 6. B, that will be a cuboid, and A, don't know what A is, but we've got some rectangles in, so that can't possibly be a cube. A cube is composed of just squares. Question number 4, which of these is the biggest? So we've got 4/10, 3/4, 2/5 and 1/3. Okay, so why don't we just turn them all into percentages? Now remember, to turn a fraction into a percentage, it's the top divided by bottom times by 100, so that is 40%. 3 divided by 4 times 100 is 75%. 2 divided by 5 times by 100 is also 40%. And 1 divided by 3 times 100 is 33.3 recurring percent. Maybe some of these values you knew automatically. So 75% is the biggest, so therefore 3/4 is the biggest one there. Okay, so we want to put these in decreasing order, largest to smallest. So let's copy out from A 252080, 252300 and 250900. So this column here, 222, can't tell them apart. This column here, 555, can't tell them apart. Here we've got 220, so 0 is less than 2, so this is the smallest number, so this will be in position 3. So let's look at numbers, the first two. So we've got 2s, 5s, 2s. In the fourth column, in the hundreds column, we've got a 0 and a 3, or 3 is bigger than the 0. So this is the biggest, and this will be the second. So it's going to go 252300. So it's not A or B, followed by 252080. So therefore it is answer C. Question number 6. So the customer or the salesperson has said that 10% is £39.90. So what is 20%? So we need to see this in terms of multiplication, not adding. He thinks 10 plus 10 is 20. So he's just added 10 there. We need to see 20% as double 10%. So therefore 20% is going to be double £39.90. And 2 times 39.90 is 79.80. So explain why the salesman must have made a mistake. Well, 20% is double 10%, so it should be 79.80, not 49.90. Question number 7. So first of all, the grams needed is going to be the length times the width in meters. So that is 8 times by 8 times by 25. And that comes to 1600 grams. Now 1 kilo is 1000 grams. So if we're going kilos to grams, we multiply by 1000, but we're going in the opposite direction, so we are dividing by 1000. 1600 divided by 1000 is 1.6 kilos. So if he needs 1.6 kilos of fertilizer, he'll need the 2 kilo bag. Okay, question number 8. Okay, so this is a display in a shop made of some cubes, and we want the side view. So if we're looking at it from this perspective, we will see this face here, and that face there. That is all. So we will see 2 squares, and on the bottom we will see 1 to the left. So that is shape B. Okay, each box has sides measuring 0.5, so work out the area of this side of the display. Okay, so it's 3 squares, so it's going to be 3 lots of. Now the area of the square with a side of 0.5 is 0.5 times by 0.5, and 3 times 0.5 times 0.5 is 0.75, and the area will be square meters. Okay, so for the next part, we know that each box weighs 950. So how many boxes are there in this display? Well, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, but there's also 2 more hidden around the back. There's got to be one hidden here, otherwise this box would just collapse on top of it. So there's 6. So that's going to be 6 lots of 950, and 6 times 950 is 5,700. And I think, as we established in an earlier question, kilos to grams, we are dividing by 1000. So 5,700 divided by 1000 is 5.7 kilos. Okay, so for question number 9, the scale is 1 centimetre is 100 metres, and we've been told that the root is 6.5 centimetres. So that is going to be 6.5 times by 100, so it's a distance of 650 metres. Now the tourist takes 10 meters to walk 1 kilometer. Now 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So if it takes, if 1,000 meters is 10 minutes, then what is 650 meters at the same speed? Well, to go from 1,000 down to 10, we are simply dividing by 100. So let's divide 650 by 10. 650 divided by, by 100 rather. So we're dividing 650 by 100 because we are dividing 1,000 by 100 to get 10. And 650 divided by 100 is 6.5 minutes. Or you could write 6 minutes 30 seconds. Okay, question 10. So what we need to do is work out the volume of box A, B and C. So box A, the volume is going to be 35 times by 35 times by 55, and that is 67375 cubic centimeters. Box B is 40 times 40 times by 40, which is 64,000 cubic centimeters, and box C is 30 times 60 times by 30, which is 54,000 cubic centimeters. So it's definitely not box C. Between box A and box B, it's definitely box A. There we go. So box A, we can just say as it has a volume of 67,375 cubic centimeters. Okay, so question number 11, we want to work out the edges here. Well, we want to work out the perimeter of the floor. So I'll just do the workings here so I'm not scrolling up and down. So it's 2.5 plus 5.5 plus 2 plus 7.5 plus these two unknown sides here. Well, this side here is going to be 7.5 minus 2.5, so that is 5 meters, so plus another 5. And this side length here is going to be 5.5 take away 2, which is 3.5. So when we add all of these values together, we get 26 meters. Okay, now, so the fixing strips are in 6 meter packs. So how many do we need? Well, 26 divided by 6 comes to 4.3, but we can't buy 0.3 of a pack, so we will need to buy 5 packs, and it's buy one, get one free. So let's make a note of this. So I'm buying 5. So the first one I pay for, the second one I get for free. The next one I pay for, the one after that is free. So that takes me up to 4. So the 5th pack I just pay for. I could get another one. I could get another one for free with it if I wanted to. So I'm only paying for 3 when I'm buying 5. So my final calculation is 3 lots of £7.99, and 3 times by £7.99 is £23.97. Okay, question number 12. We want to complete this notice here. So we want to work out the average waiting time. So I'm just going to work out the mean, which is the total waiting time, divided by the number of patients, which is 4, 8, 12. So the total is 4 plus 4 plus 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 5 plus 7 plus 7 plus 6 plus 3 plus 5 plus 4. You might want to just work out subtotals for the columns or the rows and then add the subtotals just to be on the safe side. When you add all of those values together, it's 72 minutes in total divided by 12, and 72 divided by 12 is 6. So the average waiting time is 6 minutes. Explain why using the waiting times for yesterday morning might not be a suitable waiting time to put on the notice. Well, it's only one day, but perhaps this was a really bad day, or perhaps it was a really amazing day. We don't know. So to have a better average, you probably want to do a sample over more than one day, weeks, maybe months, maybe a whole year. But yeah, just going off one day is a bit dodgy because that day could be particularly good or particularly bad. So you could say yesterday might not have been a typical day. Okay, question number 13. So what we need to do here is work out what the deal is. So for Browns, we are paying £470 plus 15% of £470. Now the calculation to work out 15% of £470 is 0.15 multiplied by 470. This is the percentage multiplier for 15%. It's the decimal equivalent. It's 15 divided by 100, and 0.15 multiplied by 470 is £70.50. So the total is 470 plus 70.50, and that comes to a total of £540.50p. Okay, now for the other one, which was HS. Interest is 5%, so 5% of 525, 0.05 times 525, again 0.05, that is our percentage multiplier for 5%, and that comes to £26.25. So that is the interest we need to pay on top of the 525. So it's 525 plus 26.25, and that comes to £551.25. So we're comparing these two amounts here. So we can say that Browns is cheaper, and the how much cheaper is it? Well, that's 551.25 take away 540.50, which is £10.75 cheaper. And the amount to pay today, so what is the deal? It's the total price, and it's paid in 10 equal monthly instalments, so just divide that by 10, so that is £54.05. Okay, so for question 14, what we need to do is draw a line graph to show this information. So notice a line graph, not a bar graph. So up the side, I'm going to have the number of orders. So I'm looking at what is the minimum and the maximum. So the minimum is 150 and the maximum is 200. So that is a distance of 50. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 squares. 50 divided by 11 is 4 point something. So I'm going to go up in 5. So I'm going to go up in 5s from 145. So 145, 150, 155, 160, 165, 170, 175, 180, 185, 190, 195, 200. So I always like to try and use the paper the best that I can, so there's not too much wasted space. So this is number of orders. So if I can squeeze that in down the side, number of orders. Okay, so here I'm going to put January, February, March, April, May, June. Okay, and I'll change J to Jan and this J to Jun, and Mar and May. Maybe you could write the months in full, doesn't really matter. Okay, so January was 150. So January 150, nice and easy. February 155. So that's that point there. Okay, March and April 170, then 160. So 170, then 160. Then 180 and 200. So 180, and finally 200. Okay, and as it's a line graph, we need to draw a line from point to point. Okay, using a ruler. I'm being a bit lazy here. There we go. Done. So that is our line graph. Explain what your graph shows about the number of orders. Well, apart from this blip in April, we can see that the line is going up. So we can say that it's number of orders. We can say that generally orders are increasing. Okay, and we are done on that one. So question number 15, what do we know? So the meetings, so he's got to get into London by 1400 hours, and it's in a hotel which is 15-minute walk from the station. So that means if we subtract 15 minutes from 1400, that's going to be 13:45. So he needs a train that gets into London at 13:45. So this train is too late. This train is too late. This one's okay. So that means he needs to leave Stockport at 11:24. So work out the best train for your boss to catch. It is the 11:24, and the explanation is gets into London at 13:28, and if it takes him 15 minutes, so he'll arrive at the hotel 15 minutes later. He'll arrive at the hotel. 28 plus 15 is 13:43. Missed the word at. There we go. Work out the cheapest way for your boss to travel to London and back. So he's going out on the Sunday and he's coming back on the Monday. So he can get an off-peak one way and a peak single on the way back. I'm just wondering whether that works out cheaper than a peak return. So let's just work that out. 175 plus £44.55. That comes to £219.55, which is cheaper than the peak return. So it's just going to be 2 singles. Okay, so the cheapest cost is £219.55. And that is the end of section 2.